Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Talk Network channel. I know it's early in the morning, or at least early in the morning my time, but if you're watching overseas or otherwise, it might be evening time, especially if you're watching in Sydney, Australia. Hello to everybody that may be watching there. Welcome to like the video. The channel over there is 11:04 p.m. It's almost midnight. People that have to go to work the next day are already asleep, or people that work third shift in jobs over there are just starting their day or just starting their work day, just like third shift people here in America starting their work day at 11 o'clock p.m. or 10 o'clock with their shift starting, going into the next day's morning. But anyways, welcome to everybody who's watching, however you're watching, whether you're watching on your phone, YouTube Red, soon YouTube TV. I heard a lot of good things about YouTube TV. If I had the money, the dinero, beyond having Super Chat, getting to 1K, and helping my product have better quality visually, and a little bit audible as well. Get myself a mic, a real microphone, and actually set up a camera and do things better in that way. And like I said, have it visually and audibly sounding, looking better for the viewing audience. But also, this YouTube TV, when it debuts, I actually would be interested. I know go somewhere to get a part of that mailing list. But anyways, let's get to the task at hand. That once, and also any other house cleaning items here. Welcome to follow me on Twitter at WB_podcast, at talking_Packers. Those are for my podcast themselves, at politics_WI for just talking politics locally and nationally. And my personal handle at Army_strong_06. Like I always say, though, that is where, now that I have it linked with my YouTube and that personal Twitter handle, that's where you'll find out when my videos go live, when I post, all that other stuff. So if you want to know and be the first to know, you're welcome to follow me there, and I guess you'll find out that way. Fan pages on Facebook for the podcast, Steve's Wrestling Ramble and Talking Packers with Steve. Just search them there on Facebook. But right now I'm on the road to 1K. Just like now, all 68 teams are on the road to the Final Four, to the National Championship game in the 2017 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament, better known as March Madness, because it just is madness. Let the madness begin. Really, I mean, I'm always excited. I'm always very excited for March Madness as much as I'm excited for WWE's WrestleMania, the NFL starting their regular season, and the Super Bowl, obviously. But everything and anything every year, and it feels new each and that time every year, even though it's an annual thing and you get used to it and whatever. But with other sports and other things that I'm interested in, now it was starting doing movie reviews and my own, my own personal life, regular life things beyond all this other stuff, sports stuff and fun stuff going on with work and looking for a girlfriend, long-lasting relationship, this and that. That even though yes, it's an annual thing and we know what it's about, it's still new to me each and every year, if that makes sense to people. Hopefully it does. But like I said, it just seems that way. I mean, it's awesome. It's fun and entertaining. And yes, it's an annual thing, so you know kind of how it works. But like I said, when it comes around again next year, I'll forget about how this year's went. Just like now, I'm forgetting most of what happened last year, except for the national championship game. And beyond that, don't remember too many of even the upsets and buzzer beaters and Cinderella stories or this and that from last year too much. So it's always fresh and new to me each and every year. And so is the conversations each and every year. The teams got snubbed. Syracuse. But anyways, but if you are a fan of Syracuse, I do apologize. I didn't mean to trash your team there by saying that, but it is unfortunate. And you guys did have the strongest resume, in my opinion, of the teams that were left out. I kind of also thought Iowa should have gotten in, but then again, that's might have been my Big Ten bias there. But Syracuse and Iowa, I think, should have been in. Let's just say it should have been Syracuse versus Iowa in the playing games. That should be played in Dayton, Ohio. So tomorrow and tomorrow Wednesday. So yeah, just saying. But anyway, looking at this bracket, and I already did my sheet of integrity, my integrity bracket on ESPN. Welcome to check that out. I guess you can find my bracket there. You're also welcome to join you can join my tournament challenge. If you want, you can join my tournament challenge group. It's called Battle of the Mind is the name of the group. It's a private group for now. I might turn it public, but if you're interested, let me know ahead of time, and I'll show you the way to join. But I just wanted to share that as well. Welcome to join there. And if I don't win, I might actually give away a prize for a YouTube subscriber that wins. Because if it's not me or if somebody else wins, then that's definitely maybe going down. So I just wanted to share that a little bit here. But looking at this bracket, starting with the playing games, Mount St. Mary versus New Orleans, Kansas State versus Wake Forest, NC Central versus UC Davis, and Providence versus USC, Southern California, University of Southern California. For there, if I had to pick, I'd pick New Orleans, Wake Forest, NC Central, and Providence for those games. Okay, and we're going to go through this whole tournament here, giving my predictions and everything. Maybe not every single game. I'm going to start here with the first four, but with the main ones. And then, maybe not. We'll see I'll probably just go with every game. I have Villanova winning the first round game. Okay, you know what? Overall, I like the seedings. I like how everything looks. I like where people seem to be. But I was surprised by a couple of seedings, two of them being from Big Ten teams, Wisconsin getting the 8th seed. And not only did they get the 8th seed, that's a crying shame in my opinion, and just overall that getting an 8th seed. Because I thought, they might have slipped up in this last month, let's just say. But they started to get their groove back, and with their dominance in the last couple of games in the Big Ten tournament against two teams that are in the dance, one in Northwestern that has the same seeding as them, so according to the committee, and a team in Minnesota that's a 4 seed. So I don't know. I thought that was so. Not only was it that, but Wisconsin also got gypped, in my opinion. And I'm not just saying this as a Wisconsin fan. I'm saying this overall, trying to be a conscientious objector, talking about the NCAA tournament. But also because they're in the same bracket, the same bracket is just overall, but the same region. That's what I meant to say. The Wisconsin Badgers are in the same region as the number 1 overall team, Villanova. So even if we win, and I'm predicting we beat Virginia Tech out of a close game for sure, we're gonna have to play Villanova, which is what it is. And I guess we don't mind being the ones to eliminate the first number 1 seed, and might as well be being the number 1 overall. But the odds of that happening is very low, and I'm saying that even as a Badger fan. So got doubly gypped. So just saying that. And even with the Minnesota Golden Gophers, a team that I just mentioned, another team that was surprising in their ranking being a 4 seed. Not in the region that they are, but just in the 4 seed overall, was kind of interesting as well. And Florida State is a 3 seed. Xavier is 11. Was a little surprising to me. Michigan State and Miami will be 8 and 9. I thought they would have been seeded different. So, again, cherry picking, nitpicking there. That's just my little glories of it about those seedings for those teams. You look at these 5-12 matchups. Out of all the bracket busters, the Cinderella stories, all these 5-12 matchups I can see, and I did pick in my sheet of integrity, my integrity pick on ESPN.com and otherwise, which also I did. There is a maximum of brackets you can do on ESPN, 25 of them. I did 25. Okay, some were silly, some were semi-serious, and then my sheet of integrity, my main one, was very serious. And yet I got done with all 25 brackets by actually 2 hours after the selection show was over, and you were able to do it on, able to do your brackets on ESPN.com. So yeah. Anyways, but on my sheet of integrity, on my integrity bracket, I have all 12 seeds beating the 5 seeds. So I have UNC Williams beating Virginia. I have Nevada beating Iowa State. I have Middle Tennessee defeating the Minnesota Golden Gophers, and I know a couple people that went to Minnesota University and currently are going to the university. And I have Princeton beating Mike Golick's Notre Dame Fighting Irish. So I have all 12 seeds moving on in my integrity bracket, in my main bracket, or as they call it on Mike and Mike, the sheet of integrity. And congratulations, speaking to Mike and Mike, I know I talked about Mike Golick is Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who I have losing in that 5-12 matchup. But congratulations to Greeny, to Mike Greenberg, and also a fellow Stephen, and no, not Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen Colbert, who is a Northwestern graduate himself. Congratulations to them both. I'm honored their team, Northwestern Wildcats, are officially now in the NCAA tournament for the first time ever in franchise history and school history for the Northwestern Wildcats. Congratulations. They get the 8-9 matchup. They're facing Vanderbilt. I have them getting the W. But just like Wisconsin, they're only going to get one W. And look at all the Big Ten teams here in the dance. I mean, that's even awesome in itself as a Big Ten fan, just as much as I am, obviously, singularly, and specifically a Wisconsin Badger fan. I'm a Big Ten fan overall. I want the Big Ten to win the tournament. Whether if it's not Wisconsin, if we're eliminated by Virginia Tech or Villanova or at any step of the way, then I want another Big Ten team to win this whole thing. I guess that's just how I roll. If my team gets eliminated or doesn't even make the tournament, I just say Wisconsin didn't, which that would be even more shocking than getting an 8 seed. But if let's just say they didn't, then hypothetically, the team actually I would cheer for is Michigan, and their story and their situation, especially if you don't know already, Michigan Wolverines is their basketball team on their flight to Washington D.C. From Michigan, had a situation there and a crash. Many got injured, no deaths. Thank God, thank goodness, the good Lord above. No fatalities, just injuries. And bless that team. And it was a scary situation hearing actually last night in Bracketology show on ESPN. Again, you can watch ESPN's 24-hour marathon. I think it's called March Madness Challenge or March Madness Bracket Challenge Marathon on ESPN, 24 hours starting, 7 p.m. or this evening or something, going into the next evening, 24 hours of coverage and talking about the brackets. So, there already are, but you know what I mean. But I just wanted to promote that for them, even though obviously I'm not getting paid by ESPN to say that. But I just like to share that information. But what happened to Michigan after that, and having to play, and really, as I collect my thoughts here, the head coach after what happened, and they got back to the hotel back in Michigan because they still didn't leave yet. Said, do you guys want to go? Do we want to get on another plane after what just happened? Which for me might be a little too early. I don't know if I would have been able to do that because of what just happened. Like I got in one vehicle accident my whole entire life. I think to go a little above, think my lucky stars that only happened once, and that was because I was dumb enough to drive in a low graded blizzard, so to speak, if that makes sense to people in the Midwest that are listening or otherwise. And when I still get leery when I go past that area, even in the middle of summer. and it's a beautiful day. It's just you still remember it. So if I was in their situation, if I was a Michigan State basketball player, equipment manager guy, assistant, head coach, I don't care what ranking or what my involvement with the organization, the team, the athletic team there in Michigan, I don't know if I would have wanted to get right back on a plane 24, 48 hours after this accident to be in a tournament. Like, was a tournament that, you know what I mean? But, hey, to their credit, the head coach asked them, do you guys want to go, or do you guys just want to stay home here, be with your families, recruit for those that do get injured, recover, and just chillax, so to speak, after this ordeal, and we can, forfeit the game, their first round game or their tournament game there for the Big Ten tournament in Washington, D.C. This time no longer, or at least not this year, in Indianapolis, Indiana, home of my fellow co-host, my friend Stephen A. at Stephen A. 1181 on Twitter. But they decided to go, and good thing they did. Like Duke winning, their four games in 4 days, winning their conference ACC championship. In that tournament, Michigan wins the Big Ten tournament, and they were an 8 seed from the start. A team that I would say before the tournament started was a bubble team, at least to me. They were more of a bubble team than Iowa, in my opinion, at that time. And now they snapped their ticket, and now for sure are going to the dance, and they are at the 7th seed. So if the Badgers were not selected, if they did not even make the dance, Michigan would be the team I'd be cheering for. And I'm going to say this right now. Whenever Wisconsin gets eliminated, if they do, heck, you know what? I would want to see Wisconsin-Michigan in the national championship game. Then Wisconsin gets a rematch for the Big Ten tournament finals, where we had it close, and then we got a right kick near the end because Michigan, it's just destiny for them. Just part of me thinks maybe this is destiny for Michigan to win it all. Yeah, they have to go through Kansas in their own region. Yeah, they would have to go through Villanova if Villanova survives also Wisconsin after, in the second round. And all the other great teams from the other regions, depending on if they make it, and who Michigan would have to face at that time. I mean, heck, even the second game, they'd have to face Louisville, a great team, a powerhouse in their own right. But anyways, it just seems to me that Michigan, yes, a Big Ten team, that I think it's just their destiny. Like Alberto Del Rio and his character in WWE, it was his destiny to be WWE champion. Well, here, in an unscripted form, I think it could be Michigan's destiny to win it all. Or at the very least, what is Michigan's destiny to win the Big Ten tournament? So shout out to Michigan fans. Shout out to the Michigan Wolverine college basketball team, to their coaching staff, to their assistants, to their water boys or whatever. Because I did that for my high school football team for a year. Was a manager. I'd love to be a manager for an NFL team. That'd be kind of cool. So, officially working for the Packers. I get to go to every single game. Yeah, obviously you have to do your job as a manager, but still, that'd be a lot of memories would be made for me from that way. I'm just saying. Anyways, but shout out to Michigan University. Overall, Michigan University, not just the basketball team, but obviously we're talking about the basketball championships here at the tournament, NCAA tournament. But Michigan, could it be their destiny to win it all? Or was it just simply their destiny to win the Big Ten championship? We'll have to see. We'll have to see how things unfold for the Wolverines. I mean, heck, they could be bounced out right away, but it just, to me, feels that could be the case. But Oklahoma State is no joke what they're facing in their 7-10 matchup in the first round there in the Midwest region. That would be to Kansas City. I also noticed that Wisconsin, the Bradley Center, Milwaukee, is going to be hosting some games in the first round. So that's cool. But no, seriously, that is cool. Let me see here. Yeah, Milwaukee here, Minnesota against Middle Tennessee, Butler and Winthrop. Those games there, 2 games. Thought they had more than that. Indianapolis, home with Stephen A. At Stephen A. 1181. Indianapolis has Dayton, Wichita State, Kentucky, North Carolina, Michigan, Oklahoma State, Louisville, Jacksonville State. I know Milwaukee's somewhere else. Oh, yeah, up here. Iowa State, Nevada, and Purdue, Vermont. So that's cool. 2 Big Ten teams don't have to travel too far. They get to play in the Bradley Center, the BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee for the first round game. So that's good for Purdue and for Minnesota, respectively. Maybe that might help. But I got Tennessee beating Minnesota there. I got Rhode Island beating Creighton as an upset. You know what? I'm not going to predict this, and I didn't on my integrity bracket. I didn't pick any of these teams, but I would want to see, would love to see, even if Wisconsin was ever a 1 seed, I would love to see a 16 seed beat a number 1 seed. I mean, that'd be awesome, actually. Like I said, I don't care if Wisconsin's a 1 seed or not. I just would think it would be pretty cool to see a 16 seed beating a 1, having something that never ever happened yet, right? Northwestern, their university, their franchise, their fan base has never been picked to go to the dance overall. Going to the dance. Hey, Ronnie, what's up? Thank you for stopping by. I finally just was able to get into the chat. Good morning. I don't know what time it is in your neighborhood, but thank you for waking up with me, waking up with my channel or whatever. I appreciate you stopping by forever. How long you do stop by, I always appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. But no, like I was saying, 16 seed. Come on now, let's have a 16 seed win. Now here, in my opinion, the 16 seed that has the most, greatest, best chance of getting the W, getting the win, honestly, to me, and if it goes this way, I'd probably say South Dakota State over Gonzaga would be the greatest chance. Now, that might not be saying much with it being 16 versus 1, but I just want to see it. Just one of these years, I would just like to see that happen. See a 16 seed beat a 1. See all the brackets busted, especially the brackets that have that number 1 seed, whatever one it is, but it has that number 1 seed in the championship game, has that number 1 seed in their bracket being the national champions. Now, you're saying that kind of seems cruel, thinking that way. Well, I apologize, but just my opinion there. And I'm saying this even if my bracket was that. Let's say, just for the purpose of this, let's say I have Kansas, and I don't, but let's just say, for argument here, Kansas, let's say I have them winning the national championship game. Okay, I have Kansas beating Wisconsin. Okay, Kansas against Wisconsin in the national championship game, and I have Kansas winning and becoming the champs. But let's say NC Central or UC Davis, we'll just whatever one, beats Kansas, the first ever 16 beating a 1, and that destroys my bracket because I had Kansas winning it all. Or at least it destroys it for that region, at least. And for the national championship game, I'd be behind the 8 ball already. And that might even be more so because their game, oh no, maybe not. I was going to say even more so if that game was on Thursday, like one of the first games on Thursday, which would be one of the first games of the true tournament, quote unquote, after the playing games. But anyways, that I would actually be okay with that. I would actually be kind of happy penciling that in and then going to my bracket and making all those X's, because I keep a paper copy of my integrity bracket, so I don't have to refer to it all the time and log into my account on ESPN or starting up my laptop or anything like that. I have my paper copy, old style, back to my childhood copy, or that way of having my picks, having my bracket filled out. So, because remember, I don't know if those that are old enough, or sometimes they still do in some newspapers. Yes, I know kids of today. Newspapers still exist, and a lot of people still read them. Anyways, in newspapers during gets to March Madness time, at least locally here in my area, when I was younger, or even like I said, still today, sometimes in the sports section they have the bracket out there to fill out because you can have a we have the chance to win something, this and that, prizes, and you cut it out, you fill it out, and you mail it out to to that. Which here locally is the Wall Street Daily Herald, but even with Sunday papers, we get the Milwaukee Journal. We do get the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and others that also did the same thing. So I don't know, just sharing those memories in that way. Oh, you're on your way to work. Yes, I will see you. Yes, like brick and mortar, or the whatever. Yeah, old school paper and pen. Not even pen, pencil sometime. But anyways, I was saying, if I have to X them out, I'll X them out. And Ronnie, have fun at work. I have to go to work later today, but not yet, obviously. Oh, the New York Post, awesome. But yeah, I wouldn't mind making those X's, crossing them out, being incorrect if NC Central or UC Davis beats Kansas and my bracket's busted. So I'm saying that for me too, and not just saying that for others. And I would like to see their brackets busted. No, if that happened to me too, and all of ours are busted together, or just me and others not so much because maybe they only had Kansas moving on and then losing to Michigan State or Miami. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that. I'm not just saying this for others. I'm saying this even for myself, that I would like to see a 16 seed win, whether it completely busts my bracket or just tears it a little bit. You know what I mean? So I hope to see it this year. Hope to see it next year. I want it to happen at some point. And why not? I talked about earlier about the destiny for Michigan University, for Michigan college basketball. How about destiny being in the same year, or first times for Northwestern being in the tournament, the destiny of Michigan coming back from their old deal, winning the Big Ten championship, and I feel they could actually go somewhere here in the tournament, in the big dance. So why not make it? Good things come in threes, right? Or at least that's the saying. 2017 tournament, 16 seed finally beats a 1 seed. I don't care if they win by 1 point, last second shot, tip in, or a last second shot tip in where it's going around, and finally goes in, or if they win by 10 points. I would like to see a 16 seed beat a 1 seed. That's all I'm asking. Everything else can go chalk and can go, higher seeds and this and that. But if one 16 seed can beat one of the 1 seeds, that would make my day. What would also make my day is Marquette, the Marquette Golden Eagles, my grandfather's alma mater. My grandfather, who this next month, actually 2 months in May, in 2 months, he'll be 98, be turning 98. But his alma mater, Marquette University, the Golden Eagles, are in the dance facing South Carolina, and I actually have Marquette winning a game, moving on to face Duke in the second round there in the East region. That will be in New York. So to Ronnie, that Ronnie that's still here before he has to leave for work, leave us here to do work, to make that money. The East region will be having their Final Four, part of the Elite Eight, in New York, New York. So that's cool. And then, so the East region has New York. The Midwest will have Kansas City. West has San Jose, California, and the South region has Memphis, Tennessee, for their area. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I know. You're probably right, Ronnie. 16 won't be beat a 1 seed. I'm not I'm not going to argue with that at all. I agree 100%. But I would like to see it happen. I would like to see it happen, especially this year. I would like to see it at some point. I would want to see a 16 seed beating a 1. But I probably agree with you. It probably ain't happening. They probably all will get crushed, lose by 13 to 28 points or something in the games. But I don't know if it's unfair. I mean, it is the seedings. It's kind of how it has to work. Like, if you're the best one overall, like Villanova is, I guess you're supposed to start off simple for them. I don't know. But what is unfair is Wisconsin an 8th seed when they should have been at the very least a 4th seed and playing the same region as the number 1 overall seed. That's what's unfair. But again, that's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own. And if you're watching archived, welcome to leave in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to win this tournament? Your thoughts on anything that I said on this video pertaining to the 2017 NCAA March Madness, the men's basketball tournament. And like I said, give your predictions. Let me know if you're interested in joining my group, my league on ESPN to do battle with me. Let's see how you do with me and others for picking March Madness, picking the sheets integrity, your bracket, who you have winning it all. For me, let's keep going here for the Final Four. Excuse me. For the Final Four, I have Duke. Duke, Arizona, Kansas, and North Carolina. Duke versus Arizona. I got Duke beating Arizona, making it to the national championship game on that side. And then over here on the right side, I have Kansas beating North Carolina. Then I have Duke versus Kansas in the national championship game. And I have Duke beating Kansas and becoming the national champions in my integrity bracket and my integrity picks there. That in a couple of days I start to print it off and stuff, and I would be writing down paper and pencil. I'm writing down all those picks that I have from my ESPN account. So that's what I have. I have Duke defeating Kansas, the Duke Blue Devils versus the Kansas Jayhawks in the national championship game, and your 2017 national champions picked by me, Duke Blue Devils. So that's just want to share that here near the end. So I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If this is your first time watching, we're going to check out any of my playlists, see if any spark your interest. I do have a plethora of them, so definitely welcome to check them out. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Share it. Subscribe to the channel. Heck, you can even share my picks and my thoughts to Jay Billis. Maybe it'll make him smile to hear some of my craziness and my predictions and thoughts. I know he's good for a good laugh. Whether it's inexpensive, not with me, against me, that's fine. I respect him. Hey, Jay Billis is smarter than I. But anyways, welcome to share it. Share it to him on Twitter and otherwise. And share it to anybody. Thanks for everybody that's watched live, Ronnie in particular, and others that I know have stopped by here for a short minute. I know it is early morning. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your day in general. If it is evening overseas and you're watching another country, enjoy your evening. Enjoy the next day. But above all else, as always, take care.